Hello and welcome everyone to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We have a wonderful group of institutions here and I'm excited to turn it over to them in just a moment, but a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You may use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You don't have to wait until a certain organization is presenting. If you have questions for any and all of our programs here, go ahead and use that Q&A function. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is one of many different sessions happening. It is our last time slot for this big event, but this session, along with all of these, have been recorded and will be within about a week at strivescan.com/Brooklyn Tech. I'm going to put that website in the chat for you all as well. But now for our main event, and that is hearing from these wonderful institutions and organizations. Starting us off today is the United States Naval Academy. Take it away. You are currently muted.
There we go.
Perfect.
Thank you. I guess the first thing is I should congratulate Brooklyn Tech for moving up in the rankings of high schools in the United States. I have two of my children went to Brooklyn Tech, one went to Stuyvesant, and there's always been a rivalry between them as to which school is better. So it was nice to see Brooklyn Tech jump up there. Let me start off with a little bit on the United States Naval Academy. It is not like the other colleges you're going to hear from today in many, many respects. One, it's a lot more arduous application process to get into. Not only do we look at your test scores, your class ranking, we look at how involved you are in sports. We want to see how involved you are in clubs. Are you a leader? Are you a president of a club? Are you a captain of a team? And have you done community service? How are you reaching out and helping people in your neighborhood? So we're looking at those things. Some other things that make us different is that our tuition for 4 years is zero, and you get paid while you're going to school. We only have 25 majors, so it's not a large major pool, but we think we do very well with that. Everyone who graduates, and we have gotten a 90% graduation rate in 4 years. There is no 5-year, 6-year plan with the United States Naval Academy. You have 100% graduation employment. So once you graduate, you don't have to worry about getting a job because you will have one. Every major will take the same basic courses the first year, except for 2 majors, and that is Arabic and Mandarin. Otherwise, everybody takes the same courses so that when you graduate, you will have a Bachelor of Science degree, even if you're a poli-sci major or an English major. We do have A1 sports. We have 33 varsity sports, 13 club sports, 15 intramural sports, and everybody who is at the academy, not only will they go to the classes and do well in their classes, but they will play a sport, be it varsity, club, or intramural. So we want to get everybody involved. We want them to, grow as a person from when they come in as a plebe and all the way to when they graduate. You do have a 5-year commitment at a minimum when you graduate to serve our country. At that time, you may leave the Navy or you may continue. If you leave the Navy, we hope that we prepared you to serve our country in many different aspects. So I'm really going to leave it go there and open up a lot more time for some other people and for question and answers at the end. I know we'll have many. So thank you for inviting me.
Fantastic. All right. Well, it's nice to get us started with a little bit of a unique institution here. So thank you so much, United States Naval Academy. Turning it over now, we're going to hear it from Suffolk University whenever you are ready.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Denzak. I'm one of the admission counselors at Suffolk University. So just to start off, for any of you who aren't familiar with us, we are located right in the heart of downtown Boston. And I usually like to describe Suffolk as a great school for a student who knows that they want to be in a city environment, but they also like that smaller kind of close-knit community feel. We have about 5,000 undergraduate students at Suffolk, and average class size is 21. So it really is kind of the best of both worlds in that sense. You get all of the opportunities that come with being in a city, but then you also get all of the resources of university and that smaller classroom setting. And what's really cool too about being in Boston is that regardless of what program you're studying at Suffolk, you're going to be working and collaborating with Boston businesses and organizations throughout your 4 years at Suffolk. So whether you're a business student, say you're like a marketing student and you're going to do market research for local business, or you're a graphic design student, you're working with a client, or you're a biology student with a health careers concentration and you're working at one of the many hospitals in the area, or you're a law student and you're working at the State House, etc. There are so many different possibilities of what you can do within the city of Boston. And there's so many different ways you can really immerse yourself within the Boston and Suffolk community. So when it comes to academics, we have two schools at Suffolk, the College of Art and Sciences and the Sawyer Business School. So academic-wise, we have a wide variety of different disciplines, everything within the business realm, so finance, marketing, accounting, to name a few. We have stuff in the arts, so interior design, graphic design at BA and Studio Art. We have law, we have public policy, theater, journalism, broadcast journalism, film, biology, chemistry, physics, etc. So again, really a wide variety of different programs for our students to study. And again, average class size is 21 and the student to faculty ratio is 15:1. So then when it comes to life outside the classroom, we have over 120 clubs and student organizations on campus. And what's really cool just to note about those is that while there is a faculty member who is assigned as the faculty leader for that group, it's really the students that are the students who are really in charge of those clubs and running the day-to-day operations and really make them so successful. We really like to put the power in the hands of our students. And then we have some cool leadership programs as well, such as our Journey Leadership Program, which takes students on team building experiences, not just around Boston, but places like Washington, D.C., Florida, the Barbados. And we also have our alternative winter and spring break programs, which take students even farther than that, doing things like working with Habitat for Humanity in Cambodia. And then we also do have Division III athletic teams, so 19 teams in total for any student who's interested in pursuing a sport in college. We have everything from baseball, basketball, cross country, golf, ice hockey, to name a few. We have our athletic facility in East Boston, as well as our Ridgeway Gymnasium, which is just around the corner from our downtown location. And then study abroad is a cool part about the Suffolk experience as well. We definitely encourage study abroad if it is something that you're remotely interested in doing. And there are several different ways that you can incorporate the study abroad experience into your Suffolk education. You don't have to do that typical semester abroad if that's not something that fits in your schedule. There are travel seminars you can do. You could study abroad for a summer, or you could do more than that typical semester if that's something that your schedule allows. It's really up to what you feel and what you might want to pursue. And probably the most popular study abroad option that we have is that we have our very own Suffolk University in Madrid, Spain. So again, our own campus right in Suffolk, right in Madrid, Spain. And students can study there for up to 2 years, with the exception of our international relations majors, who can spend all 4 years at our Madrid campus if they would like. And you can actually start your time at our Madrid campus and then transfer to our Boston location if that's something that you're interested in doing. All of the classes are taught in English, but students take Spanish classes while they're there. And there's plenty of opportunities to go on trips to really kind of immerse yourself within the Spanish culture and make the most of your time abroad. And then just getting into some financial aid and application tips and information. So how to apply to Suffolk, we are on the Common App. We also have our own Suffolk University application, which you can find directly on our website. And when it comes to the review process, we really try to do the holistic approach. So we really do look at everything that is submitted to us at the time of the review. So we look at your academic performance in high school through your transcript. We look at your essay, we look at your recommendation letter. We are test optional, so you do not have to submit an SAT or ACT score if you do not wish to. It's really what you feel is the best reflection of who you are as a student. So if you feel like your SAT or ACT scores are a great reflection of who you are as a student, by all means send them to us. If you don't, then you don't have to. Again, it's what you feel is best and it won't hurt you either way. And then for any student who's interested in one of our art design programs, so interior design, graphic design, or our BA in studio art, there is a portfolio requirement for that major. So definitely check out our website if you have any questions about what the portfolio requirements are, because those you'll have to submit should you decide to apply to Suffolk. And then financial aid, real quickly, all students are considered for merit-based aid scholarship, so there is no separate application. Just by submitting an application to Suffolk University, you will be considered for that aid, and then the FAFSA form is required for all need-based consideration. So with that, that's all the time I have, so I'm happy to answer any questions in the Q&A function if anybody has questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Suffolk University. That was wonderful. We're going to turn it over now to the University of Massachusetts, Lowell, whenever you are ready.
Thank you very much. Gotta get my screen back up here. All right. How's everybody doing? My name is Troy Lazaro. I am the Senior Assistant Director of Multicultural Recruitment. I hope everybody's having a great day and getting ready to have a great night. Once again, we are UMass Lowell. We are one of 4 UMass campuses. We have UMass Amherst, UMass Dartmouth, UMass Boston, and UMass Lowell. Each of the 4 campuses are totally different. They're totally different colleges. We are the second largest of the 4. We are located around about 20 to 30 minutes outside of Boston in the city of Lowell, which is a historic city. This is the aerial view of our school here. We have our breakdown here. We have East Campus, South Campus, and North Campus. I will break down to you the differences between the 3 campuses within Lowell. Primarily, the differences are, on South Campus, you'll have your humanities majors. North Campus, you'll have your business and engineering and science majors. East Campus is primarily where you would live. So a little bit about us, our location. In the historic city of Lowell, Massachusetts, if you do or do not know, Lowell is actually the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution with the boot mills and the Merrimack River running through there. That's actually where industry and engineering actually started in the United States, right here in Lowell, Massachusetts. And we built off of that. Our college is basically focused around that history. So it's a really cool piece of history. It's a very culturally diverse city with eclectic shopping, restaurants, lively art scene, and it's 25 miles, like I said, north of Boston. We're close to everything. So we are close to the ocean, not too far away from New Hampshire's beaches and New Hampshire's mountains. We're about 5 minutes away from New Hampshire and probably around maybe about half hour away from New Hampshire's beaches. So you get the best of both worlds with Lowell. You get a city not too far away from Boston, not too far away from New Hampshire. So you get a little bit of everything with Lowell. The location is a great place. So by the numbers, we're the 9th fastest growing public doctoral institution in the United States. Our GPA average, it ranges. It ranges from around about a 3.25 to a 3.65 GPA. SAT scores, they also range from around about the mid 1100s to the mid 1200s. So that's typically the range there. As far as ACT, we range from around a 24 to a 26. So academics, we have 6 colleges, an honors college, which kind of permeates its way through each and every college that we have, a variety of accelerated bachelor's to master's programs, which are amazing. The fact that you can stay 1 extra year and be able to obtain your master's is it's a total blessing, because you're able to get your master's, which having your master's on an average puts you in a range of an extra $20,000 to $40,000 in your typical earning rate when going for jobs. Another thing about our school is our school kind of has the best of both worlds, right? When you're looking at it, we are a school that has the humanities, but we're also a top 10 engineering school within the nation. So if you're looking for engineering or if you're looking for humanities, We have them both. So like I said, our academics, we have over 120 programs of study, 40 plus master's degree programs, 30 plus doctoral degree programs, and a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio with the average class size of about 19. That's a big deal because you're not going to be in classes where you're fully overwhelmed with a sea of students, where you're worried, man, does the professor know who I am? You know, am I going to be able to get the help that I need to be my best in the class? You know, all those different types of things. The answer is yes, you will have the support that you need. Yes, the professors will know you by name. You will have their email addresses. You'll be able to meet with them one-on-one, and you will have a close-knit feel at a larger institution, which is a great thing. So hands-on learning. We are built on the bedrock of co-ops and internships. Us as a university really see the benefits of students being able to get into the fields that they're studying early on and learn the work, get into the work. So having a co-op or an internship is paramount at our school. Typically, the internships start anywhere from your sophomore year. Co-ops typically start around your junior and senior year, but they really give you an opportunity to get your feet wet in the field before you go off. We have over 300 plus study abroad programs. So we're a consortium school, which means that the study abroad programs that you'll be entering in our program are going to translate back over to the United States and to UMass Lowell. So whatever you might have been studying over in another country, your credits will transfer back over when you come back to the States and back to UMass Lowell. So it's not like you, let's say I studied abroad as a junior, I did the experience, my credits didn't transfer, so I'm still a junior. No, that's not going to be the case. If you studied abroad as a junior, when you come back, going into the next year, you'll be a senior because we're a consortium school where those credits continually transfer over from one college, no matter where you are in the world, as long as they're a part of our consortium program, back to UMass Lowell. Tons of industry partnerships, so many. I mean, I can name them from top to bottom. We'll be here all day, but some of the major ones, as you can see there, iRobot, Microsoft. We had students that worked on the Pfizer vaccine with Pfizer. I mean, the clinical practicums working in the Boston area hospitals, Brigham and Women's, Children's Hospital, Mass General. We have students who have worked in the sports management and the sports health field, working with the New England Patriots, the Boston Red Sox, the Celtics. Also with our Division I sports here on campus, we have students that are working in that field as well. So really, we're all about getting your hands in the field in which you're studying. Service learning, being able to give back to the community is a big thing. And our cool program called the Difference Makers program is an awesome program where students can build their entrepreneurial ideas. Over 275 clubs and organizations, 30 plus intramural clubs and sports, 16 Division I sports, 11 residence halls, available housing for all 4 years, and 2 full-scale theater productions every year. We are packed and loaded with many things to come and a lot of school energy for the students to get involved in. Last slide. As far as November 5th is our early action deadline. January 5th is our second early action deadline. February 5th is our extended regular decision. March 1st, FAFSA deadline. We are a member of the Coalition app, the Common app, and our application. Either one is fine, and we are a test optional school. We've been that way since 2015. You can contact us at www.uml.edu/tours. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great night.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, University of Massachusetts Lowell. Okay, I want to remind everyone that Q&A function is on and ready to receive your questions, so get those in for our presenters. But now I'm going to turn it over to Cooper Yukin whenever you're ready.
Hello. Sorry. All right, let's go from the beginning. Cool. So, hello, and thank you for spending some of your Wednesday night with me and my colleagues from our other institutions here. My name is Gabby Bukai, and I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions at the Cooper Union. Full name, the Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art. And this is my email, which I'll also share in the chat if anybody wants to contact me after. But quickly to set the stage, our campus, you might know it because well, you're not so far away, but we're in the East Village. We're greatly situated by Astor Place on the 6th. We're really near Washington Square Park, around a bunch of great restaurants and theaters and cultural centers. So really the city is our campus. And on this top corner here, you can see a diagram designed by one of our art students to give you the sense of just how small and tight-knit it is. We have our 2 academic buildings seen here and here. And then we also have our dorm building and we have our offices. Everything is about a block or a block and a half away from each other. So you can really get anywhere you need to go very quickly. I just want to talk about our history because I think it's so central to the culture of the school to this day. We were founded by Peter Cooper, who was a very interesting man, inventor, industrialist, philanthropist. And he had this idea of making a school where students could really have access to higher levels of education and really contribute to society and to their communities. And the 3 fields he envisioned were art, architecture, and engineering. And since its founding, we have remained committed to those 3 fields. So those are the 3 schools that you can study at Cooper, and they're all conservatory style learning where you really dive into that field. And you are in that school, but you can take classes in the other schools, but you do get what is essentially a professional degree. So if you're in the architecture school, you will be licensed to practice architecture when you graduate. That's our 5-year program. In engineering, I'll get more into it, but we have 5 different tracks. And there's an integrated program with getting your master's if you want to continue in your master's. A very easy in-school application process and scholarship availability. And then we have our bachelor's in fine arts. So we're very small. We have about 800 undergraduates. Our student faculty ratio is 8 to 1. So you really know everybody. And because we are undergraduate in our School of Art, in particular, all your faculty are really only there for you, and you build such strong relationships. But across all 3 schools, you're really connected in our School of Architecture, you're in studio environment learning. So it's really designed to mimic how it would be in the field. And in engineering, you're in your labs. You really won't have a class that's more than 30 students, even in your lecture classes. They're quite small and into sections, so you can always have free discussion. And yeah, specifically on each school, these are the 5 tracks that I mentioned in engineering. And I want to say on general engineering too, that with that track, a lot of our students are pre-med or they just enjoy STEM, but they might not necessarily want to be like work in a lab and do research afterwards. So that's a great track if you're just interested in kind of the STEM field, but want some options on what to do with it. But those are other 4 tracks. And also within electrical, that encompasses both like a more physical like circuits route and also computer science. And yeah, everything is project-based. You are in your labs as seen here. And if you'd like to apply for a master's, it's a really seamless program. In our School of Architecture, this is our smallest program. There's about 25 students per class, up to 30 with some transfer or study abroad students. And you have 3 faculty per studio. So they're really with you as seen here, working with you every day. And it's as if you're working already in an architecture firm for those 5 years. For our bachelor's in fine arts, we're really proud of the culture of the school, which is that we keep it very open. We have an integrated program, which means we have no majors. So you never need to apply into one specific track, such as design, photography, painting, but rather you're allowed to explore all kinds of visual disciplines while you're a student. It's also quite small with about 65 freshmen and about 5 to 10 transfers per year. You get so much individualized attention and you really form such a strong peer group and community of artists in that way. And we are proud to offer you studio space for 3 of your 4 years. Your first year, which we call the foundation year, is when your classes are set for you and you do a lot of group projects and you work in shared spaces. And then beyond that, for your next 3 years, you really design your track and you get your studio space. It's a wonderful thing. Quickly on residential life, we do have our dorms, as I mentioned. We have peer mentorship, a lot of study abroad opportunities, which is typical of your junior year. Student government is really big, and we have student reps on all of our faculty committees. We have student reps on all of our admissions committees. So we really believe in the students shaping the present of the school and the future. We have many, many clubs, and you already have a sense of what life is like in the East Village. A lot of career counseling, mentorship opportunities for both during and as you're about to graduate. And lastly, really quickly, we are SAT, ACT optional. We are on the Common App, and we have supplemental applications for each of our 3 programs. And every admitted student receives a half tuition scholarship valued at $22,000. It's guaranteed for all 4 years, and you don't need to do anything to receive it, just be admitted. We do offer additional merit award that again is just given at the time of admission and there's no additional application. We offer work study and need-based aid using the FAFSA. Those are our deadlines, which are all on our website. And we are early decision, which is binding rather than early action. And yeah, hopefully I didn't go too much over time, but that's everything.
You're good, Cooper Union. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our presenters here today. This is a very interesting group of institutions for us to hear from. I'm going to ask all of my colleagues to join me on video here. And I'm going to share my screen while we kick off the Q&A portion of the event. So I did want to let everyone know that the University of Minnesota Twin Cities isn't able to be here. So we are going to move into this portion of the event now, but make sure you check out the University of Minnesota Twin Cities on their website as well. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer your questions through email or virtual events. Okay, but for this wonderful panel that we have here, my first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to kick it off in the same order, so I'm going to throw this question first to the United States Naval Academy. And you're muted.
It's tough trying to decide. I mean, number one, the college or university has to be right for you. It doesn't help if your parents want you to go there and you don't want to go there, or your friends say you should go there. It's got to be right for you, because that's what's going to carry you through your life. You want to make sure, just in the background, that it's everything you want it to be, and it's going to give you what you want on the other end. You've got to look at financial decisions. You've got to look at geographic decisions. I know there's a lot of kids who would love to go to Stanford, but do you want to be on the other side of the country when your family's here? You have to make those decisions. If you can, that's fine, but it just has to be right for you.
Great advice to get us started here. Okay, Suffolk University, what is your advice?
I'd say my biggest piece of advice is to try and talk to as many people as possible at the university that you're looking at. So talk to people in admissions, talk to people in the department, faculty in that department, talk to current students in that program, really get to know and get a sense of that community, of the community within the program, of the school community overall, because essentially you want to make sure that it's a community that you're comfortable with, that you can see yourself as a member of. So yeah, definitely talk to as many people as possible, I think, is a really key part.
Great advice, thank you. University of Massachusetts Lowell, what is your biggest piece of advice?
Biggest piece of advice is right now building relationships with us, with admissions counselors, right? And I guess that piece goes beyond even just in the virtual world, but in the virtual world, definitely right now, because we're all at a comfortable setting, right? We're all in our homes. We don't have to travel to specific schools. You guys don't have to come to our offices and feel kind of strange. It's like, oh no, are they judging me? You're home. So you can email us, you can contact us, you can call us, we can set up Zooms. And then that way you can juice us for all the information that you possibly want, right? Because, you know, we're here. We're here to service you. We're here to help you. We're here to help you and your families make a good decision. So use us. Build a relationship with us. We are not here to chase you down, to say how not good you are. We want to see you do well, whether it be at our school or another. So definitely come, contact us, build a relationship with us, because we're here to serve you. We're here to help you. And, you know, now more than ever, because we are available in this medium, use us, use this medium, connect with us, ask us questions. We can even contact another student and Zoom a student in if you want to speak with a student as well. So you can get that, you know, student to student feel. So, you know, this time we're glad that this time is soon to be coming to an end, but at the same time, while it's still here, use what you got and use it to the best of your ability.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, why don't you close us out on this question, Cooper Union?
Everybody already gave such good advice. So I'm just going to echo it and say, like, the students especially are going to be your best resource, because admissions counselors will tell you things, but we're going to tell you our view, and the best view is the experience of a current student. That's going to be closest to what you're going to have. We're getting further and further from the process of experiencing life as an undergraduate. So as much as we can tell you facts and figures, really building that personal relationship with the student is always a good idea before you get there and when you get there. And I would say, like, as much as it can be intimidating to think, like, will schools want me? Like, really do your research to see, like, do you want them? And is it a good fit for you? Do they give you what you want? So yeah, that would be my advice.
Awesome. Well, great advice from all of these individuals and programs. Okay, so that question was advice for the, holistic process, but let's go back to each of your campuses now. So I want to know, maybe a little bit of that student perspective again, is what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? We'll go in the same order. So US Naval Academy will kick it off for us.
Wow, there's so many that are great. I think probably the biggest one that most people know about is the Army-Navy game every year. It's America's game. We really, each school prepares hard, fights hard for it, but we know at the end of the game, we all have to work together again as the Army and the Navy. So as much as we are hating each other on the field, at the end of that field, that game, we both sing each other's alma maters, and it's just a fantastic tradition that goes way, way back. And it's fantastic. I mean, there's too many, but that's probably the biggest one that I can think of right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we've all heard of that, watched that game, enjoyed that game. So that's awesome. Thank you. Suffolk University, your favorite event or tradition on campus?
One tradition I really like is the freshman year boat cruise. It's one of the first activities you do during orientation. It's where you first get to really meet your class that you'll be with as a Suffolk student. It's a really great bonding activity. You get to sail around Boston Harbor at night. It's really beautiful. And you do kind of a similar activity your senior year. So it's just kind of a nice bookend of your Suffolk experience, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds really nice. Thank you. Okay, University of Massachusetts Lowell, what is your favorite event or tradition?
Like the Navy, there's a lot. I guess my favorite one is the introduction to the school through by the canal system, right? We don't necessarily have the ocean, but we have the rivers and the canal. And you can actually take boat rides with the freshman class that's coming in during orientation, where you'll be able to go on a nice little boat and go through the canals and kind of learn the history of Lowell and kind of just have a nice, relaxing kind of day. So that's pretty cool. Also, we have Culture Shock, which takes place typically around beginning of April. That's like our celebration for cultures all around the world. Since we are a city that has so many different cultures, built off of different cultures, during Culture Shock, you'll have food from all over. You'll have fashion shows, concerts. I mean, you name it. It's just a great, great time during the opening of spring. It gets everybody's juices flowing and just feeling really good that you made it through the winter. And we have a great celebration. And of course, we have homecoming, which is a big deal for us with hockey. Most schools have football. I wish we had football. We used to have it back in the day. But hockey is our number one sport. Hockey and basketball are our number one sport. So homecoming is a big deal.
Awesome. You kind of hit on something for everyone there, I think, University of Massachusetts Lowell. Okay, Cooper Union, your favorite event or tradition on campus?
Yeah, I guess our big kind of show is not in sports, but it's in what everyone's been working on. So we have our end of the year show in which students from all 3 schools get to display either their research or their artwork or their building models. And you kind of just get this like museum experience all across the school. All of our shows are open to the whole city and just whoever wants to come. So you never know who you're going to meet. And it's just really cool to see what everyone's been up to, like in their studios and in the classroom, all out on display.
It sounds awesome and very unique to your institution. So that's great. Okay, so I have one last question for this great panel here. This is actually my favorite question of all, and that is, what is an interesting or fun fact about each of your campuses or programs? So US Navy, get us started.
There's a lot of fun facts. Maybe one would be there are more astronauts that have come out of the Naval Academy than any other school. You would think that maybe it would be Air Force or something, but more astronauts have come out of the Naval Academy.
That is good. Part of the reason I love this question is I think that someday it's going to help me with a Jeopardy answer somehow. So awesome. Thank you for that, US Naval Academy. Suffolk University, what is your interesting or fun fact?
I always really like history, so I just find kind of how we were founded a really interesting piece of trivia about Suffolk. We actually started out as a law school that our founder, Gleason Archer, taught in his apartment in Boston at nighttime, just to people who wanted to learn law, because he really thought that the law education was really important. So it's just kind of a little thing he started, and we grew from there, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very unique. Thank you for that. Okay, University of Massachusetts Lowell, your favorite or interesting or fun fact for you?
So there's 2 really quick. The one that I mentioned about UMass Lowell being the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. And then second, we actually have a great relationship with Oprah. She actually came last year and she has a scholarship at the university for first generations and students of color at the university. And that keeps up every year. And we enjoy our relationship with Oprah.
That's awesome. Do you know how that relationship got started?
Yeah, so through by our chancellor, which is actually now the president of all the UMasses, Marty Meehan. He used to be the chancellor at UMass Lowell. Had a connection with him, with her, and our chancellor now have a connection with her through by a friend. So yeah.
Great. Very nice. A good connection to have for sure. Okay, and then Cooper Union, what is an interesting or fun fact about your institution?
Yeah, it's hard to pick one, but I like rooting things in history also. So I would say something a lot of people don't know about our Great Hall, where we have lectures every day. That's kind of where Abe Lincoln started campaigning on his initial run, and he made his Right Makes Might speech there, was really close to Peter Cooper, and we've kind of continued that commitment to inclusion by inviting people like Obama, more recently, Senator John Lewis, but yeah, starting from our founding, it's been part of our history. So I think that's pretty cool.
I love it. Do y'all see why this is my favorite question? You get to learn so many interesting things. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for sharing all of this information about your programs and campuses. And then thank you, of course, to all of our attendees who are here. We hope that you learned a lot about each of these programs and that you'll do some Googling to learn a little bit more to see if they are a good fit for you. And I know all of these folks on the call today would love to have you contact them as well with any additional questions that you have. I also wanted to let everyone know that this event, along with all of the others for this wonderful Brooklyn Tech event, have been recorded and will be available within about a week. Once again, that URL is strivescan.com/Brooklyn Tech. And last but not least, when you close out this event today, you're going to get a very quick 4-question survey. So any information that you can provide on the event will be most appreciated. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.